What is up, everybody? CardboardCellar today. Everyone had an amazing weekend. It is Monday once again, and that means it is time for our weekly pack opening video, which we discuss some of the big news coming out of the NFL Sunday's games, some of the players that performed very well, and also some of the key injuries that were sustained on Sunday games. And also we talk about the upcoming game tonight on Monday night game. Which Monday night games tonight should be a fairly good one. We got the Chiefs and Broncos. It could be a high scoring game with how hot the Chiefs offense has been lately, and then it also could be a low scoring game. You have to think that it's the NFL. Teams learn after watching teams perform, and maybe, just maybe, the Denver's defense definitely did some studying in the film room and can slow down that Kansas City offense tonight, and it could end up being a low-scoring game. It's unlikely, but it could happen. Like I said, this is the NFL. They're watching film, studying, working on ways to stop people. But I mean, that Chiefs offense is hot, so it'd be pretty interesting to see what happens tonight in that game. Could be a shootout, or it could end up being a low-scoring battle. We'll have to see. But we got 5 packs of 2017 Donruss football today. I'm actually running out of packs, so I might have to do something else for these videos, or just get more packs. Either way, but there was definitely a good slate of games on Sunday, and like I said, we got another good one coming up tonight. I mean, we had 3 overtime games on Sunday. We had a couple finishes at the last second. Dallas over Detroit, field goal in the remaining seconds. Cincinnati over Atlanta, touchdown to A.J. Green in the remaining seconds. 3 overtime games. We had Tennessee and Eagles, Raiders and Broncos, and Texans and Colts. Really was big on the Titans and the Eagles game, that the Titans elected not to go for the draw and kick the safe 3 points and end up going for the touchdown and winning that game. I'm really high on that decision there from Vrabel there, the head coach of the Titans. That is a gutsy decision, and I'm glad it paid off for him. I definitely look forward to stuff like that in NFL games. But let's go ahead and get into the pack opening here. Like I said, 5 packs of 2017 Donruss football, 4 cards per pack, total of 20 cards. Let's go ahead and get into pack number 1. There was some very good performances by players, and there was also some season-ending injuries. I think we had a few season-ending injuries on Sunday's games. I think the most talked about one is going to be Earl Thomas. Suffered a clean break in his leg for the Seahawks. And he doesn't have any ligament damage. Like I said, it was a clean break, so it doesn't have any ligament damage. At least that's what's been reported. Here's a kid reporter. Like I said, don't know if you guys can use these or not. And then we also, in that same game, tight end for the Seahawks, Will Dissly was carted off. And then another tight end for the Bengals, Tyler Eifert. Looks like he broke his ankle in that game versus the Falcons, and he's most likely done for the season. It just sucks when you see season injuries, especially so soon. I mean, any injuries are bad, but it's just especially the Falcons. Like week 1, the Falcons lost Deion Jones, put him on IR, so he's out for several weeks. And then Keanu Neal's out for the season. It's just terrible to see these players, get all anked up, anxious and stuff, ready for the play for the season, and then suffer an injury like that. Especially in Eifert's case, he missed a lot of. He's been injured a lot. He can hardly stay healthy. So it's definitely just devastating. Any injuries, like I said, any injuries is just terrible for players. But I really feel for those players that suffer season-ending injuries, especially early on in the season. But let's go ahead and get into pack number 1. Start off with Sam Bradford. Terrell Suggs here, who played a very good game on a Sunday night's football game, the Ravens and Steelers, and the Steelers offense couldn't get anything going. They couldn't even complete check down passes. That was just a bad performance there by the Steelers offense, but a great showing by that Ravens defense once again. Kenny Britt, who the Browns played the Raiders, and the Raiders end up coming back, scoring a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to put it into overtime and end up winning that game in overtime. I know there were some crucial calls that went against the Browns and went in the Raiders' favor, so I'm pretty sure that's probably a hot topic to talk about. And the end up pack number 1, I rated rookie of Zay Jones. But how about Alvin Kamara and the Saints? Man, Kamara has put on a show. He had 3 touchdowns in that game versus the Giants, 3 rushing touchdowns. He is something special. He's definitely a key factor in that Saints offense and what they're capable of doing, especially with Michael Thomas as well. I believe he had a fairly quiet game. Start off pack number 2 with Phil Simms, Jarrell Casey, David Johnson. Was nice to see him get it going against the Seahawks. I believe he had a rushing touchdown on the day. Really awesome to see that Cardinals offense actually moving the ball with Rosen in there now as starting quarterback. So I'm pretty excited to see what happens with them in the future. Then you got a rated rookie to finish off pack number 2 of Evan Ingram, who's going to be missing some time for the Giants with the knee injury, I believe. But a nice little rated rookie of Evan Ingram there. On to pack number 3. You got the Bengals receiver Tyler Boyd, who seems to have locked the number 2 role down in that Bengals offense. I believe he was over 100 yards. What else? Who else we had? Some like that overtime game for the Texans and Colts. Very interesting decision for the Colts to go for it. Here's another kids reporter. Like I said, don't know if you guys can use these or not, but I'll keep showing them anyways. But very interesting decision for the Colts to go for it. And it ended up costing them a game. Apparently they just didn't want to tie. They were willing to take that risk there on 4th down and go for it, and end up setting up the Texans for their first win of the season. Start out with Franco Harris in pack number 3. Mike Wallace. Like I said, the Ravens played a really good game last night. John Brown, I believe, was over 100 yards receiving and a touchdown in that game. They couldn't get James Conner going. The Steelers couldn't get James Conner going. I know Brown had a nice touchdown reception from Big Ben. But other than that Steelers or the Ravens defense looked really good in Sunday night's game. Got Dontrell Inman, which was surprising in that Chargers game. Beathard and the 49ers gave Phillip Rivers and the Chargers the run for their money, didn't they? I mean, they started off like literally right off the bat with a pick 6 on Rivers for a touchdown. I guess that's what a pick 6 is. But if you guys don't know, a pick 6, but it took it intercepted for a touchdown. Phillip Rivers right off the bat in the first minute of the game. And they gave him a run for their money. The Chargers did pull that out, but it was definitely a close victory there. To finish off pack number 3, a rated rookie of Donnell Pumphrey, who, like I said, in that Eagles and Titans game, I was so amped up about Mike Vrabel deciding to go for it instead of electing to end in that draw and end up with a little jump ball to Corey Davis, who had a monster game with Mariota. Like I said, if you guys did catch that, I believe Corey Davis could have a huge game, or not a huge game, but a huge season with Mariota healthy at quarterback. He's definitely a breakout candidate. He's a good receiver. He's been receiving a lot of targets, and he went to showed versus the Eagles there. I believe he had 160 yards and then caught that touchdown in OT to win the Titans a game. That's pretty awesome. But a nice rated rookie of Donnell Pumphrey of the Eagles right there. To finish off pack number 3, on to pack number 4. How about we just look at the pack real quick and talk about Mitchell Trubisky right there. With 6 passing touchdowns, and the Bears just blow out the Buccaneers, and Fitzmagic streak ends, gets benched in the 3rd quarter, which I don't like that decision. I think that team rallies around Fitzpatrick, and I just think that team seems to be playing better with him than with Jameis Winston. But Jameis Winston did come in, I believe, threw a touchdown pass, but then also threw 2 interceptions, if I'm not mistaken. But here's another kids reporter, it looks like. So like I said, I'm probably gonna keep saying don't know if you guys can use them, but I'm gonna keep showing them anyways, just in case you guys can. But start off pack number 4 here. Tony Romo, Spencer Ware, Dan Marino, and a rated rookie of Juju Smith-Schuster, who was kind of quiet in that Sunday night matchup versus the Ravens. I think that whole offense was pretty limited, but he's been having huge games the first 3 weeks. I believe he was over 100 yards the first 3 weeks, if I'm not mistaken, in each game. And then, like I said, had a pretty quiet night versus that Ravens defense. But another pretty cool story, Jimmy Graham for the Packers, I believe, got his first Lambeau leap. Caught a touchdown from Aaron Rodgers. Besides the preseason, I believe he did a preseason Lambeau leap. So it's nice to see Jimmy Graham and Aaron Rodgers hooking up for a touchdown there. Who the Bills got blanked by the Packers at Lambeau Field. So still, the Bills can't get it moving on offense. They had that good game versus the Vikings. Here's another one. Had a good game against the Vikings, but I think that's mainly because of how they started out on defense. I believe the first 2 possessions for the Vikings were turnovers. So the Bills definitely had a lot of momentum in that game. It'll be pretty interesting to see how that team performs moving forward. But to start off our last pack in today's pack opening video and NFL Week number 4 recap is Jordan Matthews, who I believe caught a long touchdown pass from Carson Wentz, who looked great. I mean, look back to his former almost MVP self last season. I believe he had 348 yards passing, two touchdowns. I did fumble a ball late that led the Titans back into the game. But start pack number 5, Jordan Matthews. Johnny Unitas. Actually, these cards are actually pretty banged up on the corner up here. Johnny Unitas. Casey Hayward. And our last card in today's pack opening video, a rated rookie of John Ross, who also had a receiving touchdown this Sunday. Or technically last Sunday now, because it is Monday, but in week 4, John Ross got a touchdown. Nice rated rookie of John Ross to finish off our pack opening video. I think one more performance that I want to talk about is Sony Michel for the Patriots. Patriots whooped up on the Dolphins, stopped their undefeated streak, making them 3-1. But Sony Michel had himself a day, 25 attempts, I believe, over 120, 127 yards or something like that, and a score. And also James White, their pass catching back there, 2 touchdowns on the day, rushing and receiving. Their offense looks good, and they get Edelman back, and the Patriots' offense looks good, and they get Edelman back next week, or this coming week. So it'll be pretty interesting to see what happens, how that offense shapes up. But other than that, guys, this has been CardboardCellar, and I hope you guys enjoyed.